In today's lesson, we're going to discuss the third segment of halachas that fall under the custom of blowing shofar in the month of Elul. So we discussed in the previous classes the reasons that are given behind this custom and the practical ramification that it gives with regards to on which day to begin the blowing. There's another interesting law with regards to when we stop blowing the shofar in Elul. The Rama writes in Shulchanaruchharav in chapter 581, Tafkuf Peyal Sif Gimel, the name of the Minhagim, one of the old Sfarim of Minhagim, printed in the Ashkenazi Jewry, that on Erev Rosh Hashanah we stop blowing the shofar. He doesn't explain why. The Magen Avraham, in his commentary in that place, brings two different reasons. One reason that we stop blowing on Erev Rosh Hashanah is in order so there is a clear differentiation to people between those blows, those tkiyas that are sounded simply out of custom, and those that are sounded out of biblical obligation on the days of Rosh Hashanah. So we stop blowing the day before Rosh Hashanah to make this differentiation clear to the masses. The second reason that the Magen Avraham brings down is because we desire to confuse the Satan. That when the Satan sees that we stop blowing shofar, the Satan will think that Rosh Hashanah has already passed, because why else did they stop blowing shofar? It must be after Rosh Hashanah. And then he will, kiviyachol, so to say, miss his court case on Rosh Hashanah against us. This idea of the confusion of the Satan and how he won't know the date is something we're not going to go into now. It's discussed in length in the Kutei Sichos of the Rebbe with a fabulous explanation on this matter of all those areas that states that the Satan is confused. We're going to touch on a different aspect. So the question is, what if a person needs to practice blowing? Or what if a person wants to blow in the privacy of his home? Is he allowed to do so? So the Magen Avraham states that this is based on this machlekes of the reason. If we say the reason is just to differentiate, then, which is the first reason, then it's mutter to blow in the privacy of the home. But if we say that the reason is to confuse the Satan, then if you blow in the privacy of your home, the Satan can hear, so it won't confuse him. So basically, it's brought down in Peskin that we rule a halacha that if someone needs to practice shofar on the day of Rosh Hashanah, he may do so, but he may only do so in the privacy of his home. And the wording in Peskin is that it is forbidden for him to do so in public. So strong is this custom that it's forbidden for someone to blow the shofar in public on Erev Rosh Hashanah. Even in the privacy of the home, it's brought down that this is only allowed to be done if a person is doing so for a purpose such as for practice, etc. But if he's doing it out of nisasik, what's called out of activity, for fun, then it is forbidden even in private, as explained above. In a further question, blowing shofar at night. Is the person allowed to blow the shofar at night? So interestingly enough, we find here that the poskim that usually only deal with the revealed aspects of the Torah, write that a person should not or may not blow the shofar at night because the tkiyas arouse the attribute of gvura. And at night we do not desire to arouse gvura. As is known, we don't say tachanun at night and other things that we don't do at night in order not to arouse this attribute of Hashem. This is written in the Aruch HaShulchan Moshe. Now, even though in the Ramah it says that some communities blew at night, that really meant they blew after Ma'ariv, which was davened early in the day, but not that they literally blew when it was nighttime. On the other hand, we find that the Kaf HaChaim and the Mateh Ephraim, which were more inclined towards the Kabbalistic text, they record customs of blowing the shofar literally at night, especially during Slichos, as is done by the Sardim, that they do it in the morning when it's even before daybreak, and they do blow shofar when they do so. Regarding standing when you blow shofar, do the people listening have to stand? So regarding this, it's interesting that there's actually no source in Halacha and Pesachim to require anyone to stand when hearing the shofar blowing. It is a minhag that has come across widespread, and people do it out of their own initiative. But it is not brought in Halacha, and it is done out of respect of the awesomeness of the message of the shofar. Regarding blowing the shofar in private. So even though the original custom is with regards to blowing it in shul with a minyan, it has become a custom today that people try to blow the shofar when they come back home from davening, for their family, for their wives. It's even said regarding the Rebbe that he would blow for the Rebbetzin when he came back home with. I don't know if this is authoritative or not, but this is a story that I've heard. And so people try to do it again for the initiative of bringing closer the mood of Elul as much as we can. Regarding if someone is in the middle of Shemana Esrei and he hears the blowing of the shofar in shul, what is he to do? Is he allowed to stop? Is he allowed to continue? So there are poskim of today that write that a person, if he will not be able to hear shofar later on, he may stop to listen to the shofar blowing during Shemana Esrei. And the reason is because the idea of shofar is a mitzvah, and it's a mitzvah that he won't be able to fulfill. So it's similar to other mitzvahs that we allow a person to stop for during Shemana Esrei. Like for example, during Shemana Esrei, one may stop to listen to Birchas Kohanim. With regards to if one fulfills the mitzvah of hearing shofar in Elul through listening to a recording. So this sounds like a very strange question because there's no real chiyuv obligation to hear shofar in Elul. It's a minhag, it's a custom. So if you're with a recording, the message is gotten across, you would think it would be okay. But the Rebbe, I believe he's one of the only authorities that discussed this issue. He stated in the Sikha of Parshas Balak in 1984, in 7th of Tammuz, that even the sounds of the shofar in Elul may not be heard through a recording. And the reason is, he says, over there, is because the whole purpose of the shofar is to arouse fear and trepidation of Hashem. Yira Tata, fear of Hashem. And this can only be done when it's blown from an actual human. As words that come from the heart enter the heart. And this cannot be fulfilled through a recording device.